Our space here, it's a new venue for us. The ICA has been in operation for over 8 years now, but we moved into this space back in November, and this is a main exhibition space. Around the corner, there's a little retail space where we feature about 11 local artists and a few artists from outside of the area. We're in the middle of setting up a new exhibit. It's called Alter Eco, and it's 8 artists exploring change and transition using the landscape as a metaphor. We'll be open for First Fridays, free and open to the public, and then we'll have a members and artist reception on Saturday, February 16th. Our regular gallery hours are Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 6. Part of us being able to sustain our venue here and keep our doors open is because of events like this. We lease out our space, and we are always opening our doors and would love feedback and to continue to do events like this. Jen with Santa Cruz Rehearsal Studios has been so great on putting on these panels, so I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So thank you guys so much for coming out. The reason why I tried to put this panel together was because I work with a lot of indie bands and see a lot of them come through the rehearsal studio, and a lot of people have CDs and they want to get them heard on the radio, but they don't really know the process, and I don't know the process, but I know there is a process. So I tried to find the people in our community that are the smartest about the process to tell us how it goes. So we have some really cool panelists here, and I hope we can all learn a lot from them. I'm going to let them introduce themselves right now. We'll go from closest to me to the furthest.
Thank you, Jen. My name's My name's Sandino Gomez, and on the air it's Augusto Cesar Sandino Segundo, my alias, representing the wonderful Sandinista Nicaraguan history. And yeah, I've been a part of Free Radio Santa Cruz for the past almost 10 years now. And I think it's kind of too mountain horn because the station's only been around for like 18, 19. It's debatable when exactly we've been on the air, and there's been periods of not being on the air due to various problems and everything. But yeah, I've been a DJ there for a long time. And kind of by being a DJ, you're also involved in every other aspect of the radio station because we're a do-it-yourself kind of very independent project. I don't know if we should talk about that or later?
Yeah, I think we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah, just free radio is very different than your traditional radio stations, all I want to say.
You know, are the mics on, or are they going straight to
They're actually going
No,
straight
they're
to
audio.
So if you can't hear
No, I
us.
can hear them, but I just
Okay.
want to make sure, because I'm only getting hot timings anyway.
Hey, Diane. Thank you.
Hey, Sandino, if you want to just pass the mic along.
Hi there. Big thanks to Santa Cruz Rehearsal Studios for putting this on. It's very nice to be able to share this information with all of you. You like seeing your CDs float into the radio station all nice and neat. Like, my name's Lois Rosson. I'm with KZSC. I'm the program director up on the hill there. So I like to help all of our genre directors have CDs that are sent in from different musicians, local and otherwise, make sure that those arrive at the proper destinations. So, yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Gio Warner. I'm with KUSP. I'm the music director there, aka volunteer coordinator for the music department, and I basically do the same thing she does.
Hi, I'm Tim Adelman with KKUP, Cupertino, over the hill. I'm program director, and I govern all the department heads and help distribute the music and do that kind of stuff.
I'm Sleepy John Sandage, and I'm on all the radio stations except KUSP. Sort of a radio slut is the way I And I don't have anything to do with picking the music for any of these stations, but I do have ideas of how you can get your music on the air. So I will take it from the back door, and they'll take it from the front door. And we'll find a way for you to get your music at least into the right hands.
Definitely talk about K-Dig.
But
You should definitely talk about K-Dig,
oh yeah,
though.
yeah.
I mean, that's
But
that's
the same there,
K-Dig
they don't ask me yet. Yeah, well, I'll tell you about K-Pig too, because that really is a place, if you're an Americana artist, that's a place you want to be, but that takes a much smaller group of people. But we'll talk about that too, because they work very different national commercial radio stations with companies that own 100 stations. So I'll tell you what it is.
So since you guys are all there, let's see this one one last time. Sandy, if you have a comment, just bring the mic over so we can hear you.
Get in trouble. So why don't we start from the front door and maybe talk about, you're an artist, you have your CD, you listen to KZSE, you listen to KKUP, you listen to KPA, you listen to KKUP, free radio, and you want to hear it on that station. What do? Do you go to their website and look for the submission policy? Do you just send it? I mean, it's probably a little different for each station, but I don't think it would be a waste of time to learn like kind of the basics from each and see how they maybe differ or are all the same. We could just start from the top down.
Well, Free Radio Santa Cruz, like I said, is a little bit different. We have, there's a couple ways you can get your music on our stations, put it that way. The best and most reliable, quite frankly, is to get your own show. It's very easy to get your own show on Free Radio Santa Cruz. We kind of are extremists when it comes to the concept of media democracy. And so we want to get just about anyone and everyone on the show, or on the air who has such a desire. That would include artists or activists or kind of authors. If you want to talk about something on the radio, you can do that through Free Radio, and I think it's a great kind of training ground and launching point for kind of different styles of radio, different genres of radio, I should say. Depending on your interest, you can kind of hone it and craft it there. So local artists could get their own show on Free Radio and promote their own music as well as their friends' music, things like that. If you did want to get your own show, you could send us music through our P.O. box. I was actually just trying to figure out what that was. It's like 7507. I'm going to check that. I'm going to fact check that. But you can mail it to us, snail mail, and we check that. And the person who does check that P.O. box then tries to get that. We'll kind of give a heads up to people that there's new music in the studio, and we have a new releases section. And so, you can just check the new release section. Every DJ kind of looks in there, and if there's stuff that's interesting to them, they'll play it. If not, well, you never know. You could also email files to us as well. We have just an email, frsc@freakradio.org. So you could email us a file as well, and we could just as easily, that would, the person who checks the email would get that and probably again forward it to any appropriate DJs depending on the genre or kind of the format of what the person was into.
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, I think, between KZSE and some of the other stations that are on the air. One of the most definitive things I think about KZSE is that we 1,100% prefer hard copies. While the industry is certainly moving in the direction of digital downloads, if you send us a digital download or a link to a SoundCloud, we're probably not going to listen to it just because of the sheer volume of music that we're constantly getting into the station. So that's one thing that we've remained pretty old school about. If you do send us a hard copy, try to make sure it doesn't look like this, with just a CD floating inside of it that doesn't have any information. This is something that doesn't generally go over very well, and you're probably not going to get this listened to either. We're big on album artwork. We want things to look good as well. So what happens when your CD does come into the radio station, and if it gets put in our processing locker, is we have our hordes of volunteers process the music that has trickled in. So you have your CD. We label it with different office labels. We write a review of the CD after listening to it and process it with all the information that we need. Then we stick it in our air room for about 2 months, which is where it sort of becomes available to our general staff for airplay. And then after that, we decide to add it, or it gets purged, and then we sell it at the CD sale and disseminate it through the community that way.
Excuse me, so the artist really needs to spend the money to get the CD made, produced, what, by a big legitimate company that we can get 500 copies, 1,000 copies of it?
I would say not necessarily. I mean, we've gotten things, some of the things that we've even gotten have been envelopes that have been hand decorated. Those are always pretty interesting. You really want something that's going to be visually striking. Again, we get a lot of music in. I mean, we have mail tubs just brimming with submissions, and so you're really going to want something that's going to stand out. The reason I have singled this particular CD out as sort of a don't do this is just because there's very little information listed on here about the artist. We have no contact information. There's 3 songs on it. They burned it up on the computer, and we don't even have a pop music director.
Could I add something? One of the reasons that you don't want to send it in, like she said, in a little envelope or a hand decorated thing, if you look at a library and a radio station, they're all in the cases, the jewel boxes they're called, and the name is on the back.